American Warrior Radio right here on the Talk to Me station, AM 1300 WMEL, sponsored by AVET Project. Before the break, we touched base and got to know a little bit about the wonderful gentleman we have in the studio with us today from the United States Military Academy at Westpoint. And Rob, you began to tell us a little bit about your jump history. Give us a brief sketch of what you guys doing here on the Space Coast right now.
Well, sir, right now we're out here for training purposes. So every year during spring break and during winter break, we spend the whole break giving up our time so that we can learn how to jump for the purpose of later on either competing in skydiving or doing parachute demos for the United States Military Academy. So we're talking football stadiums or parades, stuff like that.
So like the Golden Knights and that performance team, demonstration team.
Yes, sir. We like to think of ours as maybe the little brothers of the Golden Knights. We're only for the academy, but we serve the same function as a demonstration team, just so that people get the name out there.
Well, you certainly demonstrate good judgment in where you pick to come in the wintertime.
Absolutely. This place is a lot warmer than it is in New York. Snow jumps are no fun.
Yeah, exactly. So you're fourth year, you're ready to graduate, and then you're going on to graduate school. Andrew, you're a plebe, a pledge, first year. We got another gentleman in the house here that's first year, but you have a little different history on how you ended up at the academy. BJ Wallace, can you tell us how that happened?
Yes, sir. I was enlisted 3 years prior to applying to West Point. I was stationed in Germany for 2 of those years. My battalion executive officer suggested that I apply to West Point when I was taking a math class from him on post to get my degree. He suggested I apply, and I applied, and spent a year at the prep school, and now I'm a plebe or a 4th class cadet at the United States Military Academy.
Okay.
And what's this prep school? Where's that held, and how long is that?
Sir, the prep school actually just recently moved within the last couple of years on post of the United States Military Academy at West Point. And you spend a year there basically preparing you for those who've been out of college or out of high school for a little bit. They prepare you to get you back in the swing of things so that you can be successful at the military academy.
So it's like a refresher academically and discipline-wise to get you up to speed with what's going to be expected when you join the academy?
Yes, sir.
But you're kind of a rarity. There's not a whole lot of guys that are doing what you did to get into the academy, am I right?
Yes, sir. I think at the prep school we had 28 combat veterans with us, which was pretty impressive. We had a total of 228 cadet candidates, as the prep school is called. And then from there, I don't know the exact number of our class, but I believe we're up in the 70s of combat veterans.
Okay, so you went through basic training in the regular Army, and then you went through first year. Compare the two real quick.
Well, obviously one was a little bit longer than the other. One was 9 weeks, and cadet basic training, or BEAST, was 6 weeks long. But both definitely provide a rigorous challenge for me. Obviously the 9 weeks was a little bit more extensive, but I consider the 6 weeks still challenging and definitely preparing me for the future leadership.
What's your end goal? What's your educational pursuit through the academy?
I'd like to major in psychology and eventually try to branch military intelligence.
Outstanding. Rob, what's your major? You mentioned that you speak Russian as well. Is that linguist? I mean, what kind of, did you earn that experience and knowledge through the academy?
So I'm a double major. I'm a comparative politics and Russian major. I spent a semester abroad in Kiev, Ukraine.
Oh my gosh, this is a hot topic, huh?
It is indeed one that I don't want to talk about, but it is a very interesting time to be over there. But yeah, so I'm a double major, and I'm branching infantry. So after my time in England, I'll be going straight into the infantry.
And Rob, what are the total number of ways a person who might be listening who wants to go to the military academy, how can they get in? I know there's other ways to get there.
Right, so the way the academy picks a person or a candidate to go to the academy is based off an overall score. So it's based off of both your academic pursuits, your extracurricular pursuits, and then your athletic pursuits. So the combination of the three create a cumulative score, and then they add those up and put you in a pool against every other candidate. You also have to receive a nomination from either a senator or congressman from your local district.
So then the active duty route and the congressional or senatorial nomination route are the two ways to get basically to get into the academy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So out there, you better stick and be good at school and do that volunteer work and everything else that helps the community and will ultimately help you in your goal if your goal is to get into a military academy.
Absolutely, sir. The end goal of Westpoint, of course, is to produce leaders of character. So if you're pursuing that throughout your high school career, then you are a perfect match for the academy.
Absolutely.
Give us some history then. You're a senior in high school. You knew you wanted to join the academy apparently. Who planted that seed? How'd that come about? Do you have military in your family?
I do, sir. My stepfather, when I first met him, he's a outstanding man. He was a veteran during Grenada and Panama, and he was a ranger attached to the engineering battalions that went down there. He jumped into both of those. So he's kind of the person that I've always wanted to be, and so I've pursued this route pretty rigorously to be the same type of person. He didn't go to the academy, but when I was checking out the ways to become an officer, Westpoint was, of course, one of those things that stood out.
And tell us a little bit about, if, like Glenn said, if somebody's out there listening to American Warrior Radio, maybe their child or maybe it's a teenager and they're in high school, because we got a broad range of listeners, what should they be looking to do? You said academic, obviously you need to have better than a 3.0, I'm guessing, right?
Absolutely, sir. You have to be good academically. You also have to be pursuing physical, pursuits like being an athlete, joining different sports, and then, of course, you have to be a leader. So becoming a leader in extracurriculars or even on your sports team is part of what helps you get into the academy.
So, Andrew, if you can pass the mic, Rob, what's your history and background? You just came to the academy. What was your high school years like, and what drove you to want to join the academy?
Sir, my uncle was a class of 81 grad from West Point, and that sparked my initial interest as a freshman in high school. As I got a little bit older, role models of mine at school went off to various academies, went off to the Naval Academy, the Air Force Academy, and a few to West Point. And these were all students I looked up to in high school. These were teammates of mine, captains of teams and leaders and student council representatives. So their leadership and their example they set for me led me to believe that this was the right choice for me.
So it's kind of imbued in you through your family.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Family and friends. And what's your ultimate educational pursuit?
Sir, I hope to be a computer science major, and hopefully will become a military intelligence officer as well.
Well, we need more of those for sure.
Yeah, when you graduate, you can help me out at home.
Okay, so you came down here to do some parachuting on spring break. How's the weather been?
Except for the first day we got here, it was a little bit windy and raining, but other than that, the winds are perfect, the conditions are perfect. Space Coast is absolutely beautiful, I'm not going to lie. One of the best jumping places I've ever been to.
Okay, now we just had a big air show a couple weeks ago, and it was windy a couple days. How's the wind here coming off the ocean affect the jumps?
So we're trained to deal with high winds. We have high winds at West Point all the time, so it hasn't affected us that much. We're actually able to cope with the winds pretty well and actually land on the spot, so we're fine with that. Winds are no problem as long as we got beautiful weather, and beautiful weather is what Space Coast provides.
And you guys, while you've been here, we put you up in these awesome accommodations, right?
We're staying at the Armory, sir, so we really appreciate it.
They literally line cots around the Armory floor.
Sir, we'll take what we can get, and the accommodations have been perfect for what we need. As long as people are providing, and people are providing for us. Almost everything we do is through the generosity of other people, so we really appreciate people reaching out to us, providing us the Armory, providing us the cots. We've even donated a lot of food from the West Point Parents Association, so a big shout out to them for helping us out with that.
And we've got an alumni from the Academy. I'm guessing as you all graduate, it's a bond that you form while you're at the Academy that's going to be unbreakable.
So what we call that is the long gray line, and the long gray line stretches from 1802 all the way to me, who's going to be graduating soon, and to the plebes themselves. So every person who graduates from West Point has gone through similar experiences, and we share a very, very tight bond with each other.
Well, that's absolutely wonderful, and I think you guys are going to jump again today, did I hear?
Absolutely. The minute that we exit the studio, we'll be heading straight to the drop zone and jumping out of an airplane.
Well, and I know the captain's urging us on to get you out of here so you guys can go do what you came here to do. mission first, always with the Army, with all our military.
Absolutely.
But on behalf of everybody here on the Space and Treasure Coast and everybody that listens to American Warrior Radio, wherever they are around the planet, we've got some of the finest caliber men and women. You have women down here with you too.
Absolutely. Brought around 3 girls.
Are they good jumpers?
Absolutely. Just as good as any of us.
Okay, very good. Well, guys, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us here on American Warrior Radio. Thank you for your dedicated service, your choice to serve this country, because who knows what the future holds, but I think our future militarily is in good shape, Glenn.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so impressed with you young men and, women. You can pass that on to them. And congratulations on being able to get into the academy, and congratulations on your successes there, and have a great jump today.
Hey, sir, we really appreciate you having us out there, and
Before we go, is there anybody out there you want to say hello to? Because, folks, this episode will be archived on American Warrior Radio. Just go to 1300 WMEL, click on the Archives tab, and it'll be there by title. Anybody you want to say hello to out there? One by one, grab the mic. Come on, Mom and Dad, at least.
I'll send a shout out to my mom and dad, who've been very supportive of me through all my pursuits.
That's Cadet Andrew Katz.
Thank you, guys.
BJ Wallace.
I'll give a shout out to my mom, Kay Wallace, and my father, Woody Wallace, and the rest of my family as well. Thanks, guys.
Excellent.
I'd like to thank my mom, Elizabeth, my dad.
Who are you? They'll know your voice, but we want to know everybody
I'm Will
else.
Scott from Dallas, Texas, another plebe of the Academy. I'd like to thank my family, Elizabeth, Kimball, and Henry Scott, for supporting me through all that I've done.
I'm a Cadet Shepherd from Westpoint, and I'd like to give a shout out to my 2 brothers, Riley and Darren.
Outstanding. Rob, anybody you want to say hello to?
I just want to give a shout out to all the officers on the parachute team who didn't get to come here. They're a huge inspiration to us all, and we really appreciate them taking the time to train us to become what we want to be.
You guys are one impressive crew.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for doing what you're doing. Thanks for stopping by, and check us out. And we'll get you some of those Red Shirt Friday shirts. Anybody got a guess as to what red means on my shirt?
Not sure.
Remember, everyone deployed. So we'll get those red shirts out to you. Thank you guys all.
Thank you, sir.
Glenn, that's just an incredible opportunity to introduce some members of our military community that the general public seldom, if ever, gets to know.
Yeah, I think they hear about them like in third-party person or something, and boy, what an impressive group. And we've shared with you the 2 different routes that you can get into a military academy if that's your desire.
Glenn, I had no idea.
Yeah, me either.
Now, you were a ROTC. You were ROTC.
I was ROTC, so I just stayed in school, Oklahoma State University. Go Cowboys!
Get that plug in there, Glenn. That's good.
All the way through, but I attended ROTC classes and a summer camp and those kind of things that are associated with the ROTC program. And I might throw in the 2 ways you can get into the military academy at West Point, which of course we went over, were either through active duty or through a congressional or Senate,
nomination, appointment.
Yeah, a nomination and then a appointment if they, after the nomination you qualify, holds true for all the military academies.
What is there? We've got, a lot of folks don't even know. Can you list those? We've got, obviously, the USMA, U.S. Military Academy, West Point.
Well, you got the Air Force Academy.
Where's that at?
Colorado.
Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
What about them sailors?
Well, we got the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland.
And then lastly, we have the United States Coast Guard Academy.
Yeah, and that's somewhere up in the East Coast and the North, but I can't remember. Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I contemplated going there once in my life.
Well, I got to tell you, and Captain James Passarelli of the U.S. Coast Guard Cutter Confidence is an Academy grad, and we had him on that ship-to-shore call on American Warrior Radio, the bosun's call, about a month ago. I just want to remind you all, okay, these are exciting times we live in. It's not all down and out. We've got a very strong and highly respected military, Glenn, of all forms of endeavor. The general public has the highest level of respect for
veterans and active duty military. I just saw a poll result on that, and it was phenomenal, like 83% and we wanted, the comparison to the political side of the house was, there was no contest.
Oh yeah, they're just a screaming disaster up on Capitol Hill. But the good thing is that they're keeping the academies rolling. I think it was Cadet Andrew Katz mentioned that his plebe, his first year class, was some 1,200 cadets.
Right.
So those 1,200, a few of them may drop out, maybe some of them will have medical issues or what have you, but that's the idea, folks. You've got this group of young men and women, because it's definitely integrated.
Oh yeah.
Going from start to finish. They'll go from basically a high schooler all the way through to get their degree and become commissioned officers.
Yeah, and it's an education second to none at all the military academies. I mean, they've got top class instructors, top classroom experiences. They've got all the equipment you need for labs and everything that may be associated with your degree path. It's phenomenal, and it produces the officers that are coming up to serve our country on active duty in the future, and boy am I impressed.
Well, you hear about the Ivy League education. Think of the Ivy League to the third power. Because Ivy League's one thing, it's very expensive and supposedly good instruction. We know the service academies, the 4 we just listed for you, provide the most excellent education and so much more. These guys and gals are down here brushing up on their skills and learning how to parachute. I know the Air Force Academy opens the doors for pilot training.
Oh yeah, you start flying. I know when ROTC, we started flying in the senior year.
And I'm sure the Navy has all kinds of interesting things they do. All the while, they're being expected to maintain the highest grade point average they possibly can. They're graded, I'm sure, often. And
oh, absolutely.
So there's really, there's no comparison between a regular college education and going to the academy. A lot is asked of our cadets, but a lot is given to them as well.
Oh yeah, and wow, it's just, it's not like going to college for those young men and women. It's a whole totally different experience, and as you heard Rob, one of the cadets, Rob Fetters, mentioned, it's the long gray line after that. It's a shared experience for a lifetime. And most important is it produces officers of the highest caliber you can get.
And if you doubt that, just Google some USMA history and see the impact Academy grads have made in every single walk of life, not just military accomplishments and government leadership, but literally every single walk of life.
Oh, absolutely. And producer just put a note over here, which I think is good to interject right now. Because
okay.
We haven't put it out there for a while, and I'm going to ask my good friend Garen here, give the folks out there a high side pass definition of who's a veteran, because it's unbelievable the number of people out there who think veterans are only military retirees.
Exactly. Anybody that has served in the United States military and done so honorably is a veteran. There are different levels of qualifications for various aspects of being a veteran regarding benefits and what have you. But if you've served in the U.S. military and done so honorably, you are a veteran.
Oh, absolutely. And, help spread that word around. And one of the things I would encourage people to do who are veterans in this day and age of confusion with health care coverage and all that is to go see if the VA can provide your health care coverage. See if you're eligible. Go out there and apply and find out.
How should they do that?
Well, they should go out to take their DD Form 214, go out to the VA clinic in Vieira, and
or any VA clinic that's near you if you're listening somewhere else.
Or hospital, and apply for enrollment in the VA healthcare system. It'll go to a central office and come back. I can tell you the eligibility criteria basically is based on your family income and your service-connected disability status. But don't self-deny yourself, and don't listen to some friend that's telling you you won't be eligible. Don't even bother. Go do it. If you need health care coverage, go do it, because this is a covered health care system under the Affordable Care Act.
Right, so if you are a veteran and you have a copy of your DD-214, or maybe you're retired and you've got your blue card or what have you, get to the nearest VA facility if you've never engaged your VA healthcare benefits before, and do so, because it's a good it's a good way to shore up what might be lacking in private insurance or something.
Oh, absolutely. And maybe your only opportunity, I mean, other than paying through the nose for something under the Affordable Care Act.
But Glenn, don't they have a bunch of forms and stuff, or is it just one form?
It's just one form. It's like a front and back, a copy of your DD-214. Wherever you're going to enroll may have a couple local forms to go with that, but it's a painless process.
Yeah, it's a 1010 easy. They'll hook you up when you get into your VA facility, healthcare facility. But then they got all these different categories. What's that about?
Well, the categories determine what you might have to pay a copay for, and that's basically what the categories are all about. The categories are you going to be able to get health care from the VA or not?
Exactly. So there's categories 1 through 8, 8 being the lowest level, but you're still going to end up with a VA ID card that you can use at any VA facility, any VA hospital around the nation.
Exactly.
And like Glenn said, you don't want to self-deny yourself. Just get out there and apply. This has been a very interesting episode. Hope you've all enjoyed it. We've got a minute left. Glenn, we're always pushing this next item because it's so vital. 23 veterans a day are taking their own lives. That hopelessness has got to end. We've got to give them hope. If I'm a veteran out there and I'm struggling with an issue, family, PTSD, whatever it might be, what should I do?
Well, you should call the Veterans Crisis Line, 1-800-273-8255. Press 1 once they answer. 1-800-273-8255. Press 1.
And that's a number that you want to share. Remember when I asked you all to grab a pen and paper? Please jot that number down. One last time, Glenn.
1-800-273-8255. Press 1. And 1 is specific veterans help.
Exactly. You're not going to get some knucklehead off the street. You're actually going to be talking to a veteran, and that'll help. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode. American Warrior Radio is going to be back with you again soon. We're always bringing you the stuff that you like to hear, things that you're never going to hear anywhere else. With that said, folks, please dial us up, avetproject.org. If you can donate even $5, click on the PayPal button. We need some response. We've got to help out our vets. But beyond that, Glenn?
Don't forget, thank a vet.